What's going on, everybody? Safar Sadek here. Yep, here's another MGTOW video that I'm going to do for you. Men and women that's out there discreetly watching my work and hiding in the shadows and everything. Well, this one's for you. For you men too, but especially you women that are secretly monitoring the manosphere as it's called these days. All right, let's get with it. You look at this custom art here, and more and more and more women. The nigga bitch is, lagging grossly behind, but the rest of them are on top of this shit. And they have experienced the effects of the red pill dosage. And that's what I'm gonna call this video, the red pill dosage for women. How many of you guys remember when you took the red pill and all of a sudden the fog of war was removed and you saw reality for what it really was and how fucking pissed off you were about female fuckery, feminism, and all this other shit? And you think back over the course of your life how, you fell in love with this bitch, or so you thought you, you was in love with her, you were. I give you that. Most of you anyway, you were in love with that bitch. And so you think back to all the money you spent on dates and going to motels and amusement parks and zoos and museums and all these other forms of entertainment trying to impress this motherfucker so you could one day get down on one knee and ask, will you marry me? Which is fucking ridiculous. But in a matriarchal society, it makes perfect sense. But anyway, so y'all went ahead and did the shit. And man, oh man, oh man, the money began to flow like a bursted dam from your wallet to her insatiable appetites and desires. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And so the years drug on. Next thing you know, Junior popped out. More money was flowing. A year after that, Susie popped out. Yet more money flowing. And a couple more years after your health is beginning to fail because you're working all those extra hours on that job, breathing all that toxic air and shit in there that they claim is okay. And all of a sudden the medical bills start to pile up and this and that and the other, and she becomes unhappy and bored with the marriage. So next thing you know, yeah, you got it. The old divorcio. So yeah, now even more money has to flow as a result of that. Going through those proceedings, your health is steady failing with that extra added stress and emotional turmoil brought on by this divorce that you don't see any logic in whatsoever. But it's her pushing for the divorce because, while you were at work busting your ass trying to satisfy this bitch, other dudes were satisfying her sexually, at least, for a little bit anyway. And so, unbeknownst to you, other guys have been doing shit with your wife that you never got to do, yet you was paying full price to have her around. They were getting this shit for free. And man, oh man, was she an expert at it. Unknown to you. So now your health is to the point where it can no longer be ignored. So now you're having to make constant trips back and forth to the doctors and, getting checkups and getting medicated and having to change your diet. She's not happy about that. Having to do more exercise along with extra long hours. She's pissed off about that. But she found a way to vent her anger. Oh yeah, she became a porn star behind your back. With your brother who you thought was your best friend and that motherfucker that stayed on the other side of you. At least that's the ones we know about. But anyway, yeah. So all this shit, your world is starting to slowly but surely come apart. So while you're at home on convalescent leave for about 3 weeks, you begin to get bored with all the same on social media. Same shit you've been watching ever since you been watching YouTube and all this other shit. And one day you was scrolling through videos and you just happen to come across a MGTOW video. You ain't never heard of it, and none of your friends have ever said anything to you about it if they had. So you sit there and you watch it. You was like, well, fuck it. I'm sick of this other shit. Let's see what they got to say. And when you listen to this shit, you get your initial red pill dosage. And you are about to go fucking ape shit when you hear this. Because all of a sudden your eyes come open and you, for the first time, you start to see what's actually been going on around you this entire time. And you don't know how to handle it. You know that Walther P38 pistol that you brag and boast about? You almost want to go in there and pull that motherfucker out and put some work in, but you refrain from doing so. And so now you subscribe to this guy's channel and you look over to the right and you see all these other videos that are pretty much talking about the same thing, but by different content creators and, various topics within the MGTOW philosophy. So you start clicking and watching and subscribing. Next thing you know, you done got a 3-ring binder notebook, and man, you have never written in your life like you're right now, taking all kind of notes. You are so now passionate because of the side effects of that red pill dosage. You start hitting a lot of these guys up via email at first, and then you acquire phone numbers, and y'all really start going in depth and developing, meaningful relationships. All the while, those divorce proceedings are dragging on, but you don't say anything. You just let it go as though you're defeated, while at the same time, you're planning a counter strategy. Well, the divorce goes through, and thanks to your MGTOW discovery, you hire the type of divorce lawyer that's, guess what? He's a red pill divorce lawyer. You hunted him down, you searched him out. You were given, recommendations by your newfound friends in your local area of the divorce lawyers that would be batting for you and not the system per se. So you get in touch with them, you let them, know about your red pill discovery and everything. You two hit it off real good. So you give him a lump sum of money and he goes to work for you. Your wife is too busy having fun, or at least that's what she thinks she's doing, trying to fill the void of boredom with y'all's marriage. Okay, well, the divorce goes through, but she doesn't get the typical 50% and this, that, and the other. No. You get custody of both kids, to her shock. She has to pay you alimony because of your failing health conditions, which means she has to start working extra hours and time now. Oh yeah. There is no joint custody of the kids. You get full custody. And because of that, you get to keep the house, everything in it, pretty much everything. She loses on this one. She loses on this one. Thank God for MGTOW. In this particular situation, she lost. So now she has to get her ass out, go find some cheap apartment somewhere on the other side of town. Now she's depressed. All those guys, your brother, your so-called best friend who you haven't talked to and God knows how long, because, now that you have this new outlook on life, he can't relate to you anymore. So, y'all split apart, and the other motherfucker that stayed on the other side of you, he don't fuck with you no more. He see y'all done got divorced and everything. Y'all ain't got shit to say to each other. So you move on, not worrying about fucking around with no other woman for a while. You're trying to piece your life back together. Now having to be a full-time dad to your children and everything. And, you know, as fate would have it, you keep contact with your MGTOW buddies and everything, and they show you how to go on the internet and how to, you know, do those internet businesses where you can start generating passive income. You're a pretty smart guy. So, you know, you take the little bit of money that you got from the corporate CDs and everything, invest into it, and lo and behold, man, you're a knockout. Now, here it is 3-4 years later, hell, you're one of the leading, you know, gurus in that particular niche market that you have penetrated and dominated with your 4 or 5 online internet passive income companies that you now run. So now you're at home full time with your kids doing that, and you don't even have to really put a lot of time and effort into it. You did it the first year, you know, to get it going, but then now it's to the point where it almost runs itself. You've even been blessed enough to hire a couple of employees to run that for you, and yet still turn a pretty lucrative profit. So now you can spend all that time now with your children that are going into their preteens and everything, and they really appreciate that, because that's the time in their life where they really need you there as a father. They don't too much care about their mother. They never really cared about her. And so, you know, you start dating and everything because you feel like, okay, I got my life back together and everything. She's gone, fuck her. So, you know, I'm gonna go out and start dating. You find you're a wonderful woman. She likes the fact that you know, do the internet thing, because she does it too for women's hygiene products and art and stuff like that. So y'all really kick it off. She loves the kids, they love her. Next thing you know, y'all get married and y'all take it from there. All right, now we're gonna focus on your wife while you live happily ever after. She's over on the other side of town, miserable as hell. What I didn't tell you all earlier is that this dude's wife was a nurse, a registered nurse. So after the divorce proceedings and everything, and she loses big time, she goes and enrolls in one of these online nursing degrees to get a master's degree, because at that time when she got the divorce, she was only an associate's degree nurse, not really making that much money. But she felt like she didn't really have to, because he was carrying the brunt of the financial load, you know, just throwing money her way, so she didn't really see no need for any further education. Now that she's out on her own, don't have her kids, and this and that and the other, so she goes in debt with this tuition assistance bullshit and gets a sizable student loan because of the lack of qualified nurses in the healthcare field these days in this country. And so she very easily gets this loan, very sizable loan, mind you. And so she starts down the very familiar path that most women in this society do, just living the strong and independent lifestyle. And as time progresses, she's getting into her mid-30s, starting to head over into her 40s and everything. Her kids have already grown up and, you know, getting ready for the prom and this and that and the other. She has to miss out on all that stuff because she doesn't have time to be in their lives, to participate in any of that stuff, so that she can have meaningful memories that will last her a lifetime. She gave all that up riding a cock carousel, and now she's paying dearly for doing that, because now, you know, the economy has tanked, as it were, and things just aren't what they used to be. So now she's all depressed and sit at home at nights and cries for hours. She doesn't hardly have any friends. Nobody really wants to have anything to do with her outside of work. To be honest with you, they don't really want much to do with her at work, because they can see how miserable she is at work, and they don't want anything to do with her. Yeah, she managed to get that master's degree, which put her in upper management and everything. And, you know, the money started coming in, you know, pretty decent and everything. But that's when the buying spree and the spending binges began when that money started coming in. Oh yeah. So now let's look at this picture here and look at the transformation of her life and how it happened. While she was at home one night crying, I'm so lonely and miserable. I miss my kids. I wonder how they're doing and all this. And I really miss my husband now, you know, blah, blah, blah. It's too late for all that shit. So she's on the internet going through videos and watching other bitches on there crying and all this other shit. Well, while she was looking on there one night, she happened across a MGTOW video. And the guy that was doing the video was talking about how a lot of nurses in the United States are heavily in debt, primarily due to these exorbitant student loans that they go and take out. And that caught her attention. So she goes and listens to the video, and lo and behold, she got a huge dose of red pill reality. And what you see before you on this screen is a depiction mentally of the effects of that dosage that she got, and that she got it rather abruptly too. So let's look at what reality she's now having to face. Okay, credit card balance, $76,654. God damn. Student loan, $114,598. Condo rent, $3,328. That's how much she owed the landlord. Car payment, $926. You add all that shit together, is $195,506. That's not too far away from $250,000 in debt that this bitch now realizes that she's in. Because see, she's a nurse, so she's been taking all these medicines and shit like that that she had one of her lesbian friends that work in pharmacy prescribed to her off the books. Nobody knew about it, to help her, cope with the harshness of reality that she has to face. Now that she's got a dose of red pill reality, there is no medicine known to man that can blind her ass from this obvious truth. So after coming to this realization and everything, she starts watching other MGTOW videos, and she started to find out how men woke up and began to realize all the shit that these bitches were doing over the years and everything. And then whenever a man would try to fight against it or whatever, he had to go through such a smearing campaign and defamation of character and shaming that he would eventually just give up and just, give in and go on back to the plantation, as it said, and keep going until eventually his health gave out, or he committed suicide, or just went crazy and they had to lock his ass in a loony bin or whatever. So now that this reality has hit, that medication that she's been enjoying is no longer effective at all. This reality is just too goddamn harsh to ignore or to try to pretend like it's not there. So after, getting a weekend where she got to see her kids and everything, which had been years since she had actually gotten to spend some time with them, and she's telling them how sorry she was that she wasn't a parent in their lives and missed out on all the wonderful achievements and things like that they had experienced without their mother. And her kids are pretty much just don't give a shit because now they have kids of their own. They have reached that age. That's how much time had elapsed, since they had separated and the years in between. She tries to get her husband to forgive her He just, whatever. And so after that weekend with her kids and her husband and everything, she went back to her friend in the pharmacy that she was getting all this medicine from off the books. And she got some medicine that's known to take lives if it's taken in a high enough dosage. And that's what this dumb bitch actually did. Just another sad story upon millions. That's the norm in this fucking society. And it's only gonna get worse. Why? Because now, more than ever, women are being forced to experience the red pill dosage. Peace.